Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to 22 Panels. My guest tonight, returning for I think second appearance, right? Second appearance is Scott Bryan Wilson, who we know from True Cult, and we know from Kill More, which I've been assured will finish killing more at some point. Um, but your next release is a reprinting of Left Hand Path. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, it just came out
Hey,
the second
hey.
printing. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it just came out. See, I
Yeah.
I, I, I failed. I didn't pay attention to when it came out. Just came out. Pick it
Yeah,
up now.
I think it came out a week or two ago. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. See, I've had my digital copy forever, so I went and I reread it, but I didn't like do a good job and go, oh, let me get my dates and times right. I figured
No, it's
I
it's
figured
it's
that like that that we do it here, but now I look bad
perfect.
because you're like, oh, it came out already.
No, it's good. Listen. I actually wrote the book. You got it. You got the title right. I mean, what else? There's not much to get
Wait a
hung up
minute, you wrote it? I thought you drew. No,
on.
I'm
Mhm.
kidding. So give us the counter pitch of Left Hand Path because I'm going to be brutally honest and say that I reread it and I loved it as much as I loved the first time, and I still don't know how to sum it up. I would have trouble selling this book just because, I mean, I would be able to hand sell it because I would go, just look at this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The art is beautiful for sure. Yeah. So I've kind of been describing it as it's aliens without the aliens, right?
Okay.
So it's the Alien
Yeah.
franchise without the aliens. It's about a group of explorers who find this ship that's crashed into their home planet, and the ship is so big it takes them thousands of years to explore it. And it's about the thousands of years that happen and what happens to them as a culture and as a people as they continue to explore deeper into this ship. But it's sci-fi horror for sure.
And they clearly also have a very large planet if it takes them thousands of years to explore the ship that crashed into their planet.
Yeah, or it could be a TARDIS kind of situation too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I
Uh,
hadn't I hadn't considered that. Bigger on the
yeah,
inside.
yeah, it could be. I hadn't
I
considered that
mean,
either until just now, but why not?
I mean, like for the special edition, you should have them redraw any pages of the outside and make it look like an X-wing.
Perfect. Yeah, great.
They climb into the cockpit and it just goes on forever. So yeah, what I mean, it's a fascinating concept. What yeah, what spawned that idea? Because I mean it's kind of
So
a
honestly, I
amalgamation of some things, but not like the one that you'd immediately go, oh, what if we did it this way?
right. So yeah, so I wrote it. I kind of had the idea of these people sort of exploring this ship, and it's so much bigger than they expected, and like they branch off and lose track of each other, and their language changes, and all these things happen to them. Um, and I sort of had that idea, and I wrote the script um, for the artist who drew it, Ken Knudtsen, who's one of my favorite artists in the world. Um, I wrote it for him, and if I recall, I didn't even tell him. I just finished it, and I sent it to him, and I said, here's our next thing, you know, uh, go. Um, and the interesting thing about the sort of structure of the book, where it continue every couple of pages, it jumps forward in time, and you have an entirely new cast of characters. The interesting thing about that is that theoretically you could just keep making the book forever. You can just keep adding scenes, right? Um, and so I think originally it was 22 pages or 20, maybe 24 pages, and then I kept reading it, and I said, oh, I feel like we need to add. There's something we're missing. That we need another kind of, like, another type of scene, right? We need an emotional scene between a couple or something, just to show these different aspects of, like, of the people inside this ship. Um, and so we would add these little two, because you have to add them in twos as well, right? Because you got to think about the way it'll appear in the
Right,
book, right? So you can't just
right.
add a single page scene. Um,
I mean,
so
could, but it
You
wouldn't
could, but it's going to mess up
wouldn't.
the print reading experience. Yeah.
I
Um,
mean, you would have to do two single page scenes.
yeah, you could. Yeah, you could do that. So
It
it's
wouldn't be as cool.
no, no. So everything was sort of these two-page stories that make up
Right.
this larger sort of story. And we kind of kept going. I think we ended up at like 32 pages, and then when we when I pitched it to Steve at Dead Sky Publishing, who picked it up, um, they asked us if we could make it a little bit shorter. Um, there were three spreads in it that were just basically design spreads,
Okay.
and I think they were probably right that it's stronger without those. Um, so that was really the only sort of, not that it was even a concession. It was just a decision we made to take those out. But we ended up, I think, at 28 pages in the end.
And see, now I need to actually go get a physical copy because I've only read it digitally and I only got one page at a time. So I didn't get my two-page spreads.
Yeah, so I think there's only really one spread in the book,
Yeah, that I notice.
but everything is written kind of as these little two-page kind of arcs.
Right.
Um,
Right.
yeah. So yeah, the print.
I mean,
So
I can see that as I'm paying more attention here than
yeah,
I was before. Also, like what, and I'm assuming the physical's this way too. Um, what inspired you to go uh left to or right to left? Is that because you're going back in time, or is that a digital thing?
I think it's a digital thing. The book is in the normal
Okay.
reading order. Yeah,
It is in the normal
the
reading
book
room.
is in a normal reading order. Yeah, interesting.
Okay, now I have to ask the question, was I supposed to have read it from X years later until now, or was I supposed to have read it from
If it
I think
reads
I've read it both
if it
ways.
reads both ways and works, then we did really accomplish something. I think so. I mean, theoretically, you could read it in the opposite direction. I think that's
Because
super interesting.
I
Yeah,
think I started from, well, I mean, I know the way it seems to be set up on the Kindle, which is how I have it, is it starts at now
yeah,
and then goes to 20 years later,
yeah.
100
That's
years
right. That's
later.
right.
That
Yeah,
is the
that's
right
correct.
way.
Yeah, that's the right way to
But
read it.
but
Yeah.
that's scrolling to the
Weird.
left.
Oh, I haven't
Yeah.
seen a digital
You
copy. I
still
should
have to
take
read the
let's take a look.
pages.
Yeah, the pages read in the
It's
right
not
order.
like
You just
full
scroll the
on
wrong way.
manga where
Yeah,
you have to like read the panel on the
backward.
left
Right, right.
first. You're reading the pages the same way. You're just turning them the other way.
Oh, I should get a digital copy and check it out. I actually haven't looked at it. Maybe
And I
it could be the
literally
file is wrong.
I just assumed that it was because it was left hand path, we're going
Listen,
left
yeah, listen.
and
If it works, it
you're
works.
going
But
back in time or
yeah,
for
yeah.
yeah, I don't even know.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah,
well, that's
well,
cool. Maybe
I
maybe the
thought it was a
publisher
feature, dude.
maybe the
Just
publisher
just
decided
own
that's the
it.
better way to go with it. Yeah, let's do it. We did that on purpose. Yeah.
But then you do go from 1,000 years later to 100 years later again. So that was weird.
Hmm.
That
I wonder if maybe the pages are out of order. I don't know. I'll have to look and see. I'll have to download it and see. But yeah, I don't
yeah.
know. Weird. Yeah, I haven't
It's
looked at the.
just the end that does that.
Hmm.
Because you've got like the
hold it up.
map thing at
Show
100
me the
years
last.
later.
Show me the last page and let's see what's the last page in there.
And actually, I should just pull it up and share my screen, but
Yeah, that's the last page. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
here. Here, we can cheat. We can use the Kindle reader because now I'm like fascinated in a weird
Weird.
way. I'm not used to like going, oh, this was cool, and the creator going, I didn't do that.
Oh man, yeah. I'll have to take a look and see. Yeah, I don't know. Pages are in the right order in the print copy for sure. So
Well, and like I said, it just gives me another excuse to go buy the print copy.
Yeah, you can
which
actually
had
find it
been on
now.
my
Yeah.
list. I just like thought that I needed to order it still, and instead of it being out. But you tell me that like
Yeah,
it
so it
failed and I didn't pre-order it.
well, no, it the first printing came out and sold out pretty much instantly. Um,
Right.
I think we were one of the first comics that Dead Sky published. If we weren't the first, we were one of the first one or two. Um, and it sold out like right away. And we talked almost immediately about doing another printing, but they're a new publisher, right? So it's like, oh, well, where is it going to go on the schedule? When are we going to have the money to print it? So it's like these things that,
Right.
bigger publishers don't necessarily have to think about.
Right.
So it ended up taking a year or two to do the second printing. Um, but we never forgot about it. We never sort of stopped talking about it. And finally, the timing sort of lined up for it to come out now and make it available again in print.
But yeah, see it scrolls left.
All I see is a black screen.
Oh, it's not showing up for it. What
Now it is.
that's
Now it is. Now it is.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scrolls left.
Yeah. It says read Amazon.com and then it says manga in the URL.
Right.
So maybe it's somehow.
I mean, at least they didn't like have the pages in the wrong order
Yeah. No. It looks like the pages
scrolling
are all in the.
left.
Yeah. It looks like the pages are all in the right order. Weird. All right. I'll let the publisher know that the pages seem to be going the wrong order.
Or maybe for the third printing, you flip it over for the paper. I
Maybe.
mean,
Maybe we do. Maybe we do. That's not a bad idea. I'm interested now if you can read it from. Oh, there's the spread. I'm interested now if you can read it from back to front and have it make any sense.
well, we'll see. Because the last time I had read it, I happened to leave it on this page
Yeah.
on my Kindle, and because I didn't notice the
And
the
at the bottom.
end down in the
Yeah.
corner,
Yeah.
I did actually read it forward
Fuck. That's cool.
and enjoy it that way,
Hell yeah.
only to get to the front and go, wait a minute, that looks like the cover. Was I supposed to read it the
Listen,
other way?
the fact that you can read it both
Because
ways is kind of amazing.
yeah, because I did read it. I got it right after the last time you were on the show, so I read
Yeah.
it
Cool.
way
Thank you.
back.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Um, because it came up when we were talking. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I read it way. I think actually it came out digitally not long after you were on the
Okay.
last time.
Cool. Yeah.
So it's like I'd followed you on Amazon, and like the next day, it's like Scott Bryan Wilson has a new book out, and I'm like,
Oh, nice.
yes, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, hopefully they actually paid you. I've heard mixed results on how well people get paid for Amazon sales.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, who knows?
I mean, most of the time when I talk to creators about their Amazon sales, they're like, I have no idea. I
Yeah, no.
sometimes get a check and
Yeah,
and I
yeah, yeah.
I feel like it means something.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way you're going to audit Amazon to see if they're paying you correctly. It's probably not going to happen. So, yeah.
No. But yeah, it read pretty well going forward. I
Okay,
think it
cool.
read better going, well, no, let me rephrase. It read pretty well going backwards.
Okay,
I feel
good.
like it read slightly better going
Good.
forwards.
Yeah, I think theoretically that's the way it should go. It should read better
Um,
going forward and backward.
well, but I wonder how much of that was just because each two-page spread was designed to go in a
Right.
certain
Yes.
direction.
Yeah.
Because the part that worked was like the individuals, like
Right.
the
The
story
single pages. Yeah.
came, like the individual single pages of the two-page spread didn't always they made more sense going the proper way than
Right.
going the
Yes. That makes
non-proper
that makes
way.
sense because those were definitely not written to be read in reverse order. Yeah. Yeah.
But going from where the book ends to where, so
Yeah.
I think that you probably could read the physical copy both ways as long as you read the spread in the normal way.
Right. Yes. I think that probably is a fair assumption. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, weird. It's always weird when you discover that, and I like that
Now,
you were
now,
cool with
now,
it.
now, now I'm like, I wish I had thought about that and had written it so that it could be read either way. That would be awesome.
Uh, do you know Matt Madden at all?
No.
Oh, okay. First of all, like he and Jessica Abel wrote drawing pictures, or not drawing pictures, drawing words and writing pictures, which is like, I mean, it is literally their textbook for their comics class, but is also like stands alone without the teachers is a pretty good textbook on making comics. Not even a
Right.
pretty good textbook, an essential textbook on making comics. But Matt works a lot with constraints. His
Uh-huh.
most recent book is called Six Treasures of the Spiral.
Yeah.
And one of the stories in it, he designed to read both or not
Cool.
even that. Not only
Yeah.
is it read both ways, but he has one character that's moving this way and one character that's moving that way. So there's only one page where they're really at the same time.
Oh wow.
So like going one way, it's like the one character knows the other, but the other feels like they're just meeting the character. And then when you get through the middle, it starts to reverse.
Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I think
And
there's an issue of Ice Cream Man that goes both ways too, I think,
I think
if I
so.
recall. Yeah, yeah.
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 That's
Yeah.
cool.
So no, I mean, and this is well, and for that matter, I want to say, doesn't Jeff Lemire's Trillium go both ways, or at
Oh,
least part of it?
there's an issue I think that does. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
There's something about it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Right.
recall.
And
Yeah,
like this is like the beautiful thing about comics is like you can fuck with stuff that you just, I mean, you can't write a novel that goes both ways. You can't make a movie that goes both
right,
ways. You
right,
can't really write a novel or make a movie where you tell two stories at the same time. But how many
right,
times have we read a comic
right.
where the
Yeah.
top and bottom of the page are different stories that
Show different things. Yeah.
sometime meet?
Yep, yep, yep.
It's one of
Hmm.
those beautiful things about the medium that
Absolutely.
that you did on accident with this book.
Yeah, well, honestly, like I like constraints,
Yeah.
because I find it's a way to narrow down your possibilities, right? Because sometimes, especially on a creator-owned book, when you're like, you could do absolutely anything you want,
Right.
a constraint is a way to rein yourself in a little bit and give
Hmm.
yourself a little cut down on the number of things you can do to make you sane,
Yeah,
right?
when we
So
had Matt on, he said that a lot of the time he actually comes up with the constraint first and then comes up with a story to fit the
yeah,
constraint rather than the other way
absolutely,
around.
absolutely. So
You
this one,
know.
right? This one having like the constraint of like, you know, oh, you can add the 2 pages, or they always have to be the 2 pages or whatever. Um, that was like super helpful. Even on
Right.
Killmore, where we used four panel, four
Right.
tiers, right? So it's four widescreen
Hmm.
panels, right? Like basically that tier, that really
Hmm.
helped with a lot of the things. And Liana and I are actually doing a new book together, and
Okay.
the entire book is four widescreen panels on every page, the
Okay.
entire book. So those are all things that sort of help me um, focus what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and like you come from think of the number of like legendary comics that work with some sort of, Watchmen, 9 panels
yeah,
all
absolutely. Yep.
through.
Hmm.
Darwin Cook with
Hmm.
New Frontier essentially
Hmm.
did the 4 panel,
Yep.
the widescreen that you're talking about
Hmm.
there.
Hmm. Providence, same way. The Alan Moore book,
Yep.
Providence, except in the
Like
ones,
half of
except in,
Jack Kirby is the 6 panel grid,
yep, yep. Hmm.
you know.
Yeah, for sure. Or
Um,
fucking, what is it? Stray Bullets,
yeah.
eight
Oh
panels,
God, I love Stray Bullets.
1,000 pages,
I love
8 panels
Stray
each.
Bullets.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
it's great. It's great. Yeah.
I love David Lapham. Lapham.
Hmm. Hmm.
He's just
He's amazing.
He
He's
is.
amazing. Yeah.
I keep spending way too much on bad idea hardcovers just because they're David Lapham.
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen a bad idea comic in a store for purchase anywhere.
Okay. Well, they
Yeah.
are about to go live at all stores starting in, I think, July, and
Oh,
they've got a free
really?
comic book day. They
Ah.
had previously been at select stores,
I just never took them
but it was a
seriously.
weird.
It just seemed like a bunch of gimmicks, and you couldn't
Well,
actually
yeah,
find their comics anywhere. So they just
well,
never
you
read.
you sometimes had to look, and the problem, and I actually am going to be talking to their PR person soon, and I will fully intend to actually ask her some of these ideas because, like, you said it in the name, but like there were a lot of stores that were hoping that you weren't going to have as many bad ideas as it felt like, because their initial do you need to, or did you lose their initial thing was they would go, or like what they made their comic shops promise was like one copy per person. You have to order as many copies of issue 4 as you do of uh any of the earlier ones. So it made the stores that applied actually think that their plan was to put out good stories. And they did put out good stories, but they also did just weird stuff that made it hard for stores. And did you freeze? You did. So I'm going to pause now and we'll see when you come back. So we're back. Our technical difficulties are hopefully done. Uh
Resolved.
yeah. So like, yeah, no, bad idea is I actually just read their 0 issue of Planet Death this morning and it was quite good. Um
Yeah, they have
and
great
and
creators, so yeah,
they've
I'm sure
got
this
they've
looks
got a
good.
slate of stuff that will be in all comic. They're distributing through Lunar now rather than
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah,
so
the ashes
so
of
they seem
dynamite,
to be a little bit done with the bad ideas,
or not
maybe.
dynamite, diamond. The ashes of diamond. I said dynamite. I meant
Right.
diamond. Yeah, yeah,
So but yeah, no, they did all the Lapham stuff in hardcover
yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Kickstarters that
Yeah, yeah.
that were not cheap
I'm
because they're
sure
oversized and they're really, really nice, but they're
it's probably
also Lapham.
$20 to
Full.
ship, and yeah.
They were decent with the shipping, but
Well, okay.
like you're gonna be decent with the shipping when you're charging like $100 for the hardcover.
Yeah, man. Man, Kickstarter is so dicey. Like, just
I mean,
it's
for
tough.
that
It's
matter, I went like way further than I normally do on the last one, because they had a tier where you would get a one of one comic with your face drawn into one of the pages.
Jesus.
And it's
Wow.
like, yes, I will pay X more dollars to
Right,
have
right, right.
my own David Lapham,
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God.
me in the comic book.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. Holy shit.
I
Wow.
wasn't willing to pay the extra amount to get ones to give to my friends.
No, fuck
I
them.
was willing
They're
to
on their
just
own.
leave it one of one with
Yeah.
me in the comic.
They're on their own.
But I mean, I like anything that gets people reading comics. I prefer when you
Absolutely.
go after the readers than the collectors.
Yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's where they got weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you don't make bad idea comics. So we've talked enough about bad
Yeah.
idea comics.
Yeah.
Lapham got us there. And I looked
Yeah.
over at my stack of hardcovers
Good for
because I was
Lapham.
just looking at them.
Uh,
Um I didn't make it through as much of your back catalog. I meant to go through more of your back catalog ahead of this because you've got an interesting um I think is the word I feel like using.
what's the
Um
word?
I said over, which
Uh,
is like a
yeah.
whatever. Um, but then I got an opportunity to talk to Damien Duffy, and I had to read Kindred, Parable of this Hour, and Parable of the Talents, and those are really good but really hard reads. So,
Yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, yeah. No, all good, man. All
but
good.
I did make it two-thirds of the way through your Hardy Boys Nancy Drew book. So no
Oh wow,
ruining the no.
that's the fucking one you picked to read. Holy shit.
Hey, well, no, it was for a specific reason. It was the one that was not like the others. I
Yeah,
mean, I've
yeah,
read
yeah,
Kilmore, I've read True Cult, I
yeah,
obviously
yeah,
read this.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I,
yeah,
I mean, I was looking at Pennyworth, I was looking at this, or I was
yeah,
looking at
yeah,
like one-shot Star Trek and stuff, which
yeah, yeah,
I was thinking of that too, but
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, this is the one that's not like the others.
yeah.
I want to see if this guy that does horror and completely dark comedy really
Yeah,
well
yeah,
d- does not even just it's not just like Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew, it's like middle grade
yeah,
Hardy
yeah,
Boys and Nancy Drew.
yeah, yeah,
And like again, don't ruin it. I know where the parents were. They were the hamsters, but I haven't
yeah,
gotten to the big bad yet.
yeah.
But you nailed it. I was
Thanks, man.
impressed
Thank you.
with
Thank you.
like
Yeah,
your
thank you.
ability to continue doing like your brand of humor, but appropriate for a seventh grader.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, I mean, I
So
basically got the brain of a seventh grader, so
well,
it
yeah,
fits. Yeah.
but like the brain of the seventh grader, it doesn't always put out the stuff that seventh graders' parents will let them read. I
Right,
mean,
right,
yes,
right,
True
sure.
Cult is absolutely the brain of a precocious seventh grader,
Right, right, right.
but the only seventh grader that's allowed to read that without getting in trouble is the one that wrote it.
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah. Well,
And
you know,
even then, it depends on the parents. Some of them are going to go, wow, this is brilliant. And some of them are going, Johnny, we need to talk.
yeah, well, look, I mean, that book it's funny because that was like, so when my first comic I published was a Batman short story with Bilquis Evely and the Batman Annual.
Oh, talk about somebody to start with.
Well,
Fuck.
actually, so technically my first story was with John Paul Leon,
Oh,
Batman story, but that one didn't. It took 5 years for that fucking thing to come out, and then it was only released digitally, and nobody fucking read it. Um, but
okay. I
yeah,
have to go
so
find it now.
yeah, so you got to look. It's on like DC. It's on DC Infinite or what? I don't
I
know.
have that.
Okay, so if you go, the series is called. I don't know what the fuck the series. It
I
came.
mean, I have to find the Bilkis too,
Just
because like
if you just look up my
I'll find
name
it.
on there, it'll be there.
Yeah, I'll
It's in there
find it.
somewhere. It got digitally. It got. John Paul was not happy with how it was released. He was not happy, but the story is great. I mean, it's his artwork and it is absolutely amazing. But yeah, so I got hired to do that, and then before that came out, I got hired to write the Bilquis story, the Batman Annual. Um, and then around that time, I also got an issue of Shadow Man for Valiant, and I got the Star Trek story for IDW. And I was like, shit, man, I had books coming out 3 months in a row, just kicking off my career, you know, and I thought, I'm made. I've broke in. This is it. And then after those three came out, it was just fucking total silence, right? Like nothing,
Well,
right?
and like
And
again, that's like a crazy
no, I mean, to talk about a
set
crazy,
of
yeah, crazy like debut, right? It was crazy, but
was
but
that
it
in the
was
Let Them Live Tales from the
let them
DC
live.
Vault
That's what it was. Let them live. Yeah, yeah.
issue 3?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
All right, so we're gonna mark that to read.
but yeah, but it was Matt Idelson at Dynamite emailed me and said, hey man, do you want to write this? He says, I know it's not really your thing, but do you want to write this Hardy Boys book? And I was at that time, I was not going to turn down any job that was offered to me, um, And I was like,
Well, I'm
yes,
glad you
absolutely.
didn't, because again,
No, I
it
look,
was
look. There was
good.
a lot of really good things. I mean, it's obviously like it's great. I'm glad I did it. It's a cool book. Like kids like it. I still get emails from people that they liked it. Um, but the cool thing about it is the artist on the book was Bob Solinovich, um, and so we met through that, and then he's a good friend of mine, and then the colorist Valentina is now one of my constant collaborators. She became the colorist on Kill More. She's a colorist on another book I'm working on now. And then she and I are
I
also doing
totally knew all of that. That's why I picked it.
yeah, okay. Yeah. And then yeah.
See, that's
Yeah.
what you were
So
supposed to say when I talked about the comic working
yeah,
both ways.
that's it. I should have just owned it. Yeah. But
I'm
then
setting you up for your next interview.
right. But then Bob is good friends with Goran Sudzuka of,
Okay.
of comics legendary fame.
Right.
And so Goran became a friend, and then Goran ended up doing the variant covers for Killmore, right? So it was like that book opened so many doors, not to mention like I got a lot more work at Dynamite after that as well. Um,
Right.
between like Savage Tales and the Altered Carbon graphic novel I did. It's just like a lot of things, so the Elvira thing I did over there. So that opened up a lot of doors. So it was like in hindsight, it's like not like my favorite thing on my fucking bibliography, but like
But like,
it's still a fun
I'm
book.
sorry, you should be proud of it. I mean,
Oh, I'm proud of it. I'm totally
I
proud of it.
will say that I am not the hardest critic because I like way more than I don't like,
Sure.
but that has more to do with content than
Hmm.
quality.
Hmm. It may also have to do with you having like good taste and like knowing
Well, no,
something
that's
that's
my
going to be
point.
more right,
That's my point.
right.
If the quality is good, I don't care what the content is. You
Right.
make a good comic that's a young adult, or not even a
Right.
young adult, a middle
Right.
grade Hardy Boy
Right.
Nancy Drew,
Yes,
but
I
it's a
agree with
good
that.
comic,
I'm the
I'm
same way.
all
Yeah.
over it.
I'm the same way. Yeah, totally.
Um,
Yeah.
Whereas, like literally the only thing I will read, even if it's not good, is Daredevil. And I actually say that hypothetically because it's
Sure.
been like almost 30 years since anybody
Since it
made a
wasn't
bad
good.
Daredevil
Yeah.
comic.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, that's a pretty like legendary like with the Brubaker stuff, and then
I mean, really, since Kevin
well
Smith.
Frank I was gonna say Frank Miller, and then
Well, that's way
Brubaker,
back
and
in the
then
80s. There were a handful between Miller and Smith
right, right,
where they go off the rails a little bit.
right. I
Not
didn't
a
really.
ton.
Yeah.
I
Right,
mean, you could make a pretty good argument for
right.
there hasn't been a bad Daredevil comic since Frank started writing them.
Yeah,
Um, some people would even argue since he started drawing them, but I
right.
think their quality went up significantly when he started writing and drawing.
Yeah, sure.
Um, but but yeah, like the worst run, and like I only say this because I still think it's damn good comics. The worst run of Daredevil since Kevin Smith took over in 1998
Hmm.
was Andy Diggle's Shadowland.
Okay.
But think about that. I just said Andy Diggle
Yeah,
in
right.
conjunction with the
Yeah.
worst.
Right.
The
Yeah, no, he's a great writer, and the fucking, I mean, the Bendis stuff, the
Bendis stuff
Zdarsky
was
stuff.
amazing. The Brubaker stuff,
Yeah. There's a
Greg
lot
Rucka
really
did a
good.
few
Yeah,
in
Rucka
there.
stuff.
Mark Wade's run was
Yeah.
crazy
Uh-huh.
good. Charles Sewell's run was
Yeah.
crazy good. Jed McKay put himself on the map by
Hmm.
doing a 5 issue series between
Hmm.
Sewell and Zdarsky.
Hmm.
I see a cattail. I like
Yeah, it's a
cats.
cat.
I love cats. I love black cats. What's your
Yeah,
cat's name?
Betty.
Betty. Well, hi, Betty. Um, yeah, no, I don't. I still don't understand how, and I am also having trouble finding your Batman annual. Is it annual number one?
Yeah, it's number one
Okay,
from
I see it now.
2017, I think. Yeah.
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 Which means I guarantee I've read the story. But okay. I like you mentioned two stories with two of my favorite artists. They get read sometime today.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I wanted to make certain I found.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, it's great. Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
and
how do you start your career with John Paul Leon
well, so
and then Bill Quizevely, who nobody knew yet, but like
yeah,
I
this
imagine
was
for
like
the
the
last
last thing she did before she blew up, essentially. Yeah,
right, you've
pretty
been going
much.
like, yeah, I worked with her.
Yeah,
In fact, it was in a Batman book that had a Tom King story. So what do you want to bet? It's the one
right.
that made Tom go, and I'll ask him next time. Made him go, "Ooh, I want to work with her."
Yeah, yeah, for sure. No, I mean, so I was offered to write the Batman inventory story, which was what the thing with John Paul became. And the editor asked, who do you think about for an artist? I was like, oh, listen, give me some names. I'm fine with whoever. You let me know. And I figured he
Right,
would give me, a bunch of guys who hadn't published anything and they were new or whatever, or had done
right.
small things. And he goes, well, I was thinking either Klaus Janson or John Paul Leon. And I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? I got to pick between those two. Um,
You're like, can Klaus ink John Paul?
Yeah, but I was such a big fan of the Wintermen and like John Paul just being an absolute legend. And I think Klaus was also working on something at the time.
Right.
So I said, let's go with John Paul. And I mean, it was unbelievable, right? So like, he would send pages in and be like, you know, uh, let me know if you don't like anything and or if something needs to be just something's wrong and I'll change it. Just he had no confidence that his work was good, or that it was, it was unbelievable. And like the amount of like research he did um for the art, it was just he was like, oh, here's like, here's this folder he created and he would just dump stuff in there and then I would go dump photo reference in there for him. And
So,
it
so
was
we
just
have a
amazing.
milestone book club. So I know exactly how good he was when he was like a
Yeah.
teenager.
Oh, yeah, dude, he was. I mean, he's
And you were working with him 20 years later and he was still
for
wondering if it was good.
for my money the greatest
That is
comics artist
so
who's ever
comic
lived.
book.
I mean,
That is so comic book.
he's the greatest comics artist who's ever lived, I think. And I mean, it was amazing. So getting to work with him, getting to meet him a couple of times, getting to hang out with him a little bit, and the thing I always say about working with him is like, he, as a guy who hadn't published a single fucking page of comics, he treated me as if I had thousands of pages under my belt. You know,
Wow.
it was amazing. There was no like, you know, listen, kid, this is how it's done. Like I look back at the script I wrote and I'm just so embarrassed. I'm like, I had no fucking clue what I was doing, you know. But like he did, but there's some weird stuff in the issue. Like you'll see when you read it, there's a spread that the book flips around. There's some things that happens, right? I was like, this might be the only script I ever get to write. It's Batman. I might as well just do everything, throw
Right.
everything in there. And then to,
I
to
mean,
work
still
with like,
crazy. I mean, I feel like you told us before, but how did you get like your first comics work as Batman?
as high
With
priority and as that, as high
right.
visibility.
That's
Yeah,
not how most people's careers
yeah,
begin.
yeah. No, I know, and it's interesting because like mine began that way, and then I had to go back to the way everybody else's begins, which is like
Right.
making your own fucking photocopied comic at the
That's
shop
right.
and like fucking selling
That's
it
right. You're
next to
supposed
my
to be.
Batman
By the
comic.
way, my buddy Andy says hi. You guys talked out at the Phillipsburg Con
Okay,
last year. He
cool,
bought
cool,
like
yeah.
all of your shit.
Oh yeah, yeah, good. Yeah, yeah. He was a nice dude. Yeah, yeah. He was a nice dude. That was cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He
Cool.
was too busy to come tonight, but he's like, you got to say hi.
Oh no, that was cool. He was a nice guy. Yeah, he did buy my stuff. That was really nice. Yeah. So I guess my origin story is like, I was always going to be a writer. I was always what I knew I wanted to do. And then I went to school, for writing, and then when I got out of school, I was totally unemployable, and I got a job at DC Comics, and working there I wasn't able to write comics, right? Because it was against the rules, right? You couldn't write comics. for anybody. You couldn't even write them. You weren't even supposed to do like your little shitty indie mini comics or anything, right? So it just didn't occur to me as something to do. So I never thought about it. I was writing novels or whatever, but I made friends with everybody who worked there. I learned everything about making comics. The 11 years I worked there, I learned so much about,
What did
every
you do at
aspect.
DC?
Well, I started off working in the editorial administration department, which was like scheduling. It was getting the artists paid. It was, it was a lot of those kind of things. It was sort of like the talent relations side. It would be called talent
Okay.
relations now, essentially, right? That was I spent my first couple of years there, and then I went to the legal department, and that's where I worked the bulk of my time. There was in the legal department, which was great because I really got a crash course in like comics legal
Copyright
and
law?
like and
Yeah.
yeah and like covering your ass and understanding what a good
Right.
contract is and how to read a contract and how to understand a contract, what you should ask for. um, but I also got a good crash course in like every aspect of comics, like you know not only like the sort of technical things, like this is how the pencils come in and they go to the inker and then the inker does this and then they get scanned and the colorist does right, they get flatted and colored, and
Right.
then having like the editors show me like, well, this is how a comic is ballooned, like this is the way you should think about it when you're ballooning it with a
Right.
letterer, right? So all these things, and then also just meeting the artists coming in and talking to them and seeing the way they work, also all the drama that was constantly happening with the artists and the writers on the books, and hearing all these stories and sort of understanding like how not to work, how not to do a book
Right.
together, right? Like how to what so I wasn't even thinking of it as like getting an education. It was just going to
So
work.
what era was this?
I was there 2004 to 2015.
Okay.
So I left basically when the company moved to Burbank,
Okay.
from New York. So when I was leaving, I was good friends with Mark Doyle, who was the Batman group editor at the
Right.
time, and I said, "Hey, man, listen, I decided I'm not gonna move to California. I'm gonna stay here, and I'm gonna go. I'll find out work somewhere else."
Right.
And he goes, "Well, now that you know you're not gonna be working here, you can write comics, right?" And I was like, "Oh shit, I guess so. I never thought about that."
Oh, there you go.
I was
That's
like, "Yeah,
lit.
sure." I was like, "Yeah, you
I
gonna hire
mean,
me?" I was like, "You gonna hire me?" And
it,
he goes,
it,
"Yeah, yeah, I'll hire you." And he did, right? So that was like,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
not only, sorry, I should shut the door. Not only not only did he hire me for my first two jobs at DC, he also acquired True Cult and Kill More when he was at IDW, So
Right.
I owe so much to him, personally and professionally. Um, but the funny thing about that Batman annual story, I probably told this last time on the podcast, but the funny
I
about that
don't
Batman
remember.
annual story is he emailed me. I was on vacation, and he emailed me, and the subject of the email was Batman annual question mark, and he said, "Hey man, just wondering if you want to write a story of the Batman annual. You're going to have 6 pages. This is the theme. It's a winter special or Christmas special, wherever he goes. This is the theme. We can, think about it over the weekend. We can talk about it on Monday, figure out, what you want to do." He goes, and then it was said something like, um, "P.S. You have to say yes because I already put you in the solicitations." So, at that point, I was like, "Oh my god!" Right? Like, so that was like such a like an exciting moment for me, to get that first job, or the first job that wasn't an inventory story.
Well, and at least it was Tom had a very good story in it, but
Yeah, his story.
he's got his tendency to do the mic drop in every anthology he does. So at
Uh
least it
huh.
wasn't Batman Annual 3 when he had the like Batman end of life story that like everything else paled in comparison
Oh,
to.
yeah, it was like Mark actually told me like what Tom's story was. He told me
Right.
basically what it was, and I was just like, fuck it, man. I just got to do my thing. Like I
Right.
can't worry about it.
No, but
I
I
just got to do
just
my thing.
and I mean, nobody listening will not know that I have the great affection for Tom King, but and like I'm not taking anything away from you, I hope. But I remember one of the first things I ever gave him a hard time about when I was talking to him is like, dude, like between the Elmer Fudd and the Commandy story and like if I'm at DC and I'm asked to do something in like an anthology, my first question is Tom doing anything? I'm
Yeah,
out.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, the funny thing was that annual, Mark said, Mark said, listen, it'll be good. He goes, it's Tom King, Scott Snyder, um,
Yeah, no pressure
the
here.
Paul Dini, and I was just like, are you fucking kidding me,
Yeah,
right? Like,
no
come
no
on.
pressure here. It's you and three Batman legends.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, fucking great, just great. So at that point,
But
there's
you
really no,
can't say no. Oh, and Ray
but
Fox was the
and
co-writer with
yeah,
with
with
Scott
Steve
Snyder.
and Steve Orlando was in it
Deck
too.
Declan Shalvey on pencils.
Yeah, so essentially at that point the pressure's off,
Paul
right?
Dini
Because
with Neil Adams.
yeah, exactly. So it was like, at that point the pressure's off, right? Because you're like, these guys are all fucking legends. Like, I'm just gonna do the best I can and go from there.
Well, I mean, I'm glad that you can look at it that way because I think a lot of people would look at it like nobody's gonna read my story.
Can't worry about that. I knew I would be the last
I
one in the
doubt that
book,
that's true. I'm just
like
looking at the first page and it looks awesome
yeah,
because that's what Bilkis does,
I knew I was gonna be the last one in
which is
the
a good
last story in
spot
the
to have.
issue. Yeah, so yeah. The funny thing is, like, I've made more in royalties off that story than like pretty much anything else I've done because it just gets reprinted a lot, like in
Well,
various
yeah,
in various spots. So yeah,
it's in
it's got
three
reprinted.
different versions of it's in
the
soft
Batman by
cover. It's in the
yeah it's
Batman by Tom King,
yeah.
and I bet you it's in the omnibus now because they're putting out the
Oh, I don't.
omnibuses by Tom King now.
Oh, I
So
don't
they
know.
got soft cover, hardcover, and now omnibus. So
They
like
maybe just put the Tom King story from it in the omnibus would
that
be my
that
guess.
happens some, but
Yeah, I don't know
I don't know.
if they did, they didn't send me one, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it hasn't come out yet. It's just been
Oh, okay.
solicited.
Oh, okay.
So
They're not gonna.
like,
They probably won't send me one anyway. But whatever. I'm not south.
are you certain DC has like DC is why they had the Comp Fest up in Toronto
Yeah.
because once DC puts you on their comp list, like there's like no getting off of it.
Yeah. When I worked there, one of the things we did every year would do an audit of the comp list, and
Yeah.
because there was so many people who were on it, and it was like, okay, this person hasn't worked for us in a year. They we don't need to send them comps. So they definitely cut back on that pretty big, and they went down to like digital
Mm.
comps for people at one point because it was just too much. But yeah, for sure. I mean,
I mean,
I worked there for 11 years, and I got at least one copy of every book we published in those 11 years for free.
right, right.
And I mean, it's insane how fast it piles up. I mean, really fast.
I
So yeah.
I know a couple of comic creators that were um remodeling a house together and we're both on the DC comp list and we're looking to try to get rid of them because just their DC comps were taking up essentially an entire floor
Yeah, yeah,
of the
yeah.
three floor.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it added up. It added up fast. So, um, yeah.
And for that matter, Paul Levitz showed us all of his bound ones one of the times when he was
Mm-hmm.
on
Mm-hmm.
in his
Yeah.
wall. Have you ever seen that setup? I don't, I don't,
Well,
I don't know how many people get to go to Paul Levitt's house, but he zooms from his office, so he's able to show us. He literally has like these shelves in the
Mhm.
wall that he'll pull out, and they're
Yeah.
just like bound volumes of DC Comics going back to the 60s.
Yeah, he has, yeah. Well, so one of the last maybe 3 years I was at DC, maybe 4 years I was at DC. I ran the library there,
Okay.
and one of the big projects I undertook was to um, basically figure out what the fuck DC had published since it started, and then
Right.
figure out how much of it we had, and figure out what we were missing, right?
Okay.
And then try to fill in as many holes as possible. Um, so yeah, we had full bound volumes of 95% of everything we had published,
Right.
and um, I think when I left, there were something like we were missing a couple thousand books when I finally figured out like what we were missing. It was a couple thousand, and when I left, it was under 100. So did a pretty good
Right.
job of like filling in the
Yeah.
holes. A lot of it
That excellent.
was romance.
Okay.
Romance books were just didn't have them,
Right.
and so those were actually fairly cheap. You could
Right.
get them for pretty cheap, so they were filling a lot of holes that way. The one that there was like a couple things we were missing, like there was a book that ran 4 issues in the 50s called It's Game Time, and it
It's
was
good.
mostly like an activity book, comic paper, comic size, comic format activity book, clearly for kids to do in the car on a road trip or whatever.
Right.
um and
So finding a clean one of that must have
getting
been
the
interesting.
getting the third issue of that is maybe, I think that's the rarest DC comic. It's Game Time number 3. Um, we had 1, 2, and 4, but clearly somebody had stolen 3 because it's the rare one.
Right.
Um, and I tracked down a copy of that. That was really exciting. Um, and then I don't think we had Action 11. I think Action 11 is like the fucking gnarly one to find. And then we didn't have a New Fun number 1, which was the first comic DC published. But
Okay.
they did get one after I left. So I know they knocked that one off the list, but I don't know where they stand now, or if they're even still buying stuff. I have no idea.
I mean, I don't like to assume anything since Discovery took over.
Yeah, yeah. So, but that was,
I mean,
yeah,
there's still lots of great people working there, so I don't want to I never want to like say bad things either because like I know that the people working there are doing the best they can. I just don't
oh yeah,
trust the people writing the checks.
yeah, totally. I mean, that's everybody. That's why it always really like. I think that too, being on that side of the production side of the comics, like that side, and then seeing like fan reactions to things, and you just realize like how hard it is to make a comic, how
Yeah.
hard it is to actually get one out and make a comic, and then to see fans like losing their fucking minds in anger because of whatever, right?
I
And it was just like, you
I
know,
I will never get that. I
yeah,
mean, I feel like I should get it because like it happens so often that I can predict it, but I still don't understand it. Like if you don't like it, you still have the ones that you liked.
yeah, totally, yeah.
Well,
But like
why?
everybody there is there because they love comics, and they're overworked. They have too many books. There's not enough hours in the day. They don't get paid enough. And the fact that
Right.
these books come out are purely a labor of love,
Right.
and
Well,
they should
and
be,
beyond all
commended.
of that, like the things that people get upset with, they get upset for Hail Hydra. And it's like, dude, do you think that they would have let Captain America go that way unless they believed in the story? Just
Yeah,
write it out or
right,
don't. But
right,
like,
right,
but like, that's
right,
all but a guarantee that it's going to be a good story.
right.
You don't do that lightly.
The disconnect I always found just fascinating was like how angry people would get about what happened in comics. And you're like, so you're presumably a comics fan, so you presumably understand that like it's comics. Anything
Right.
can happen.
Right.
Anything will happen.
Right.
and
But then the
just
other
the
thing that pisses me off is they'll get upset because, oh, we've got a female Captain Marvel, or oh, we've got a black Spider-Man. It's like,
yeah,
yeah, no, this is not woke. It's capitalism. Trust
yeah,
me. If they
yeah,
weren't selling, they
right,
wouldn't be there.
yeah,
Make up your mind. Are you a
yeah,
capitalist or are
yeah,
you
right.
you're going to
Yeah,
call me a socialist because I want universal health care?
right.
But when capitalism leads to Kamala Khan, you want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
What the fuck,
Um,
man?
I
Just
know,
give me a
dude.
little consistency.
I know. Yeah, I don't know.
You could get more of your comics with white men in them if all of the comic creators had health care.
Yeah, and you're not, and there's no shortage of ones to buy. You don't have every comic, so you can still go find some you haven't read, I'm sure. You
I,
know,
I I'm relatively certain too.
yeah,
But you want to increase the number of comics that come out? Universal healthcare will do that.
yeah, seriously. Oh my God, I know, I know.
Oh. So what else do you have on the horizon? Anything you can talk about?
So yeah, this the Left Hand Path second printing just came out. Um, I have a bunch. I'm kind of at the past year has really been spent kind of working on things. I haven't had much come out
Right.
lately. So yeah, I mean
I mean, you mentioned
Kilmore.
you've got something else going with Liana.
Yeah, so Liana and I have a new book we're working on now. It's totally different from True Cult, and we did that, because we were like, we don't want to be
Yeah, this
pigeonholed
time
as
it's
like
Cult True.
Cult True.
Yeah.
And then
Totally different. Has
totally different.
it's about a taco place.
Yep,
There are no
absolutely.
burgers.
And it's a woman who robs it, not a man.
Right.
So, yeah. So yeah,
Well, do we know that? I mean,
well, it could be. I don't
because
know.
could be like could be androgynous.
That's true. That's true. Um, yeah. So I don't know. So yeah.
Or there could be a reveal. It could be a man until we find out that it's not at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a
That
lot
could
of
be the twist.
ins outs, a lot of ways
I'm
you can
just
go
giving
with
you
it.
free ideas here, Scott.
Dude, I appreciate it, man. I'll take them.
This is what you get when I've been up for too long.
Oh yeah, seriously. Me too, man. Me too. Um, Yeah, so we're just working on that now. It's probably a while before anything happens with that. And then um I have a one shot I just finished with this artist in Australia named Travis Williamson. The book is called The Bloody Messenger. Um
Ooh.
but we don't have a publisher yet. We're about to start pitching that around. Um and then I'm working on a
So
new.
you're able to talk about it now, and hopefully in a
Eh,
couple of weeks you won't be able to talk about it again.
Oh yeah, this is true. Yeah, I didn't tell you the title just now. Let's pretend you didn't hear it.
Oh,
Um,
you're not under an NDA yet.
and then yeah, and then yeah, just starting a new book with Marcos Mars, who drew some Detective Comics back in the day. It's a creator-owned book. Valentina from Hardy Boys and Kilmore is coloring it. Um,
Cool.
it's very, for me, it's dark even for me, to the point where I was like, I got to find a way to make this book not so fucking dark or nobody's gonna want to read it. Um, and then Kilmar is still churning away. We have it's three quarters the way done. We have a new publisher for it, so it's going to start again. It's going to. I think what we're going to do is just publish it as a single graphic novel when we finish it, rather than try to fuck around with single issues again. But we still have to finish. It's just still a little ways to go on that. Max, who draws it, he got a day job, so I can't begrudge him needing to make money.
You
So
mean that when the checks stopped coming, he had to stop drawing?
I know
I mean, what kind of commitment is that?
I ask him that every day. I'm like, why,
Says only the idiot that thinks
yeah.
Kamala Khan shouldn't exist.
Yeah, right. So you should just be drawing serial killer comics. So I don't know. So
Mhm.
yeah, I got a bunch of little things kind of percolating. I don't know. It'll probably be 2026 before anything new comes out, is my guess. But I was really excited that the Left Hand Path got another printing, because that book to me is like,
It's cool.
um, it's one of my favorite things I've written. The art in it is beautiful. I bought a few pages off of Ken because I
Yeah.
just, the art is just so stunning. Um, and then I also have another book from Dead Sky called 3 Days to Death is Here. So if you're
Read
ordering
that.
Left Hand Path from Dead Sky, you could do a twofer and get that one as well. So yeah, yeah, this is my Western.
Yeah, I have read that. I have that on Kindle as well.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Because like I said, you talk to me and like I went, oh, heard of that. Haven't heard of that.
Oh,
And I went click, click.
love it.
I mean, it's a shame you don't have things to sell. Well, no, I'm actually kind of happy. I'm between paychecks right now, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to buy as much today as I do during many shows anyway.
Right, right, right.
Um, but like Tyler jokes that creators should come on our show just because they're guaranteed to make sales while we
Yeah,
talk.
sell a few bucks, sell a few books. Man, I know. Yeah,
Tell me about that book that you wrote 10 years ago and is only available through your website. I'll have ordered it before we log off.
it's like when I do a signing at a shop. It's like, oh, I sell 7 books, but I walk out and I bought 20.
Right,
Like it's
right.
the same thing, right? It's like I get in there and I'm just surrounded. I'm like, oh my god, I get this and this and this, and then it's
Yep,
like, I always just want to support the shops. Like I want to like just give them some bucks.
absolutely.
So, uh, whatever, man. And it's like, I don't know.
I mean, like you said, like everybody in comics has this thing where they like love comics
Uh huh.
because otherwise we wouldn't be doing it because
No,
like
I'm actually about to move, which is why my room is so fucking empty right now. I got everything.
right.
Most of my shit is packed, but it took just my paperbacks and hardcovers, comics was like 50 boxes or something, just completely
Yeah.
insane.
Mhm.
Just totally unreasonable,
This
unreasonable amount
is
of comics.
we have
And
reached a point where
that's not even single issues. That's just the you know
right.
trade paperback.
I have reached a point where my wife is much less worried about the amount of money I spend on comics than the number that come into the house. I never have to ask to buy digital comics.
Yeah. Well, my
They don't take up space.
I had a friend come over and he walked in and he saw the wall of comics and he goes completely serious. He was like, have you had an engineer come and check the structural integrity of the floor?" And I was like, "No, but now I'm worried about it because you said it. So luckily
Well, I
it
mean,
never caved in the floor or anything, but something to think about, I guess.
do you know who Bill Blackbeard is?
Oh yeah, I know the name. He's a comics historian type, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he single-handedly saved any number of old comic strips that like
Yeah, yeah,
would
yeah.
be gone, but like
Right.
when libraries went to microfilm, he sent teams all over the place to like, okay, you've scanned them to microfilm, give them to us.
Yeah, yeah.
And he had them all in like a 3 bedroom condo in San Francisco until he lost his lease. And then the Billy Ireland acquired them from him.
Mhm.
8 semi trucks.
Oh my God. Jesus.
8 semi trucks. This was like 20 some odd years ago that they
Yeah,
got
yeah,
it. They
yeah,
are still cataloging.
yeah.
They are only about 25% through cataloging it and like literally on a near weekly basis finding something that nobody knew existed.
That's crazy. Holy shit. Wow. Wow. Yeah. I think he wrote like I want to say he did some work for DC for like the Spirit reprints, the archives or something,
I
I want
wouldn't
to
be
say.
surprised.
Yeah, it sounds I think there was something there when I was there he was doing that. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Dennis Kitchen always winds up doing stuff with the Spirit
Yeah,
reprints
yeah.
too, just because he's the one that that got Eisner Publishing again.
Yep. 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 For sure.
Such a rich history in comics.
I know. I
I
know.
mean, that's the most fun part about this show. I get to, just talking to you, I got to hear stuff about Inside DC that I like have had Paul Levitz on 3 times. I've had Shelley Bond on more times than I
Yeah.
can count now.
Yeah.
I've heard stories from that
Yeah.
era. I'd never heard about like going after the missing issues,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And I just love that somebody like cared enough to.
Yeah, I thought it was important. I thought it was important that the company should have one copy of everything they had ever published, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Um, and things have gone missing over
And
the years,
somebody else thought it
obviously.
was important enough that they allowed it to be one of your duties rather
Yeah,
than
and
going, "Hey kid, we got more
yeah,
important things to do. We're
yeah, yeah,
paying
yeah.
you."
No, they gave me a budget to buy stuff, so I did.
Right.
It was cool, man. It was fun. It's one of those things you think like it was like so much fun. Like I just had so much fun doing it, and I was like, it's just like one of those like sort of blips in time. Now I have like a real job, you know, and
Well, I
it's
hope it's at least mildly fulfilling because
no, it is,
otherwise it would
it is.
suck.
No, 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 it is. It is, but it's not getting paid to like use somebody else's money to collect comics, you know? So like,
It's true.
yeah, that
There
was like
aren't
kind of
many jobs that fall into that
that was kind
category.
of the height, the height of it, I was like realizing I was pretty lucky at that point, Um,
I mean, when you put it that way,
um, yeah, so no, that was fun, man. I mean, we dug out a lot of stuff, man. There was so much stuff, and it hadn't been,
what was
well.
because I'm assuming you read your share of them too. For I mean, if I was in that job, if I found something that I'd been chasing down, I'd have to at least flip through it when it came
Yeah,
in.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So what was the coolest obscure thing that like you didn't know existed until you started looking for it and then you got it and went, this is pretty fucking cool.
Well, we had some ash can editions from the um 40s that were basically they made, I can't remember what comic, it was some issue of Detective Comics, and then um they'd put a cover on it that had the same Jack Kirby art, and then each one had a different logo and a different title, right? And they were done to like secure like trademark on these titles or whatever, right? And there were dozens of them, and they were all different titles that never, obviously for books that never, most of them were things that never came out. But then there were like, we had like the ash can for Action Comics #1. So like before it came out, when they were trademarking the title,
Oh
they made an
wow.
ash can of it. Yeah, doesn't have the same cover. It has a guy holding a knife, you know. Um, just like
So
just
so
like
they
in
hadn't screwed over Siegel and Schuster yet.
just yeah, exactly. Just like
But
insanely
they knew they
rare.
wanted a book called Action Comics.
Absolutely. But like it's insanely rare and like
Right.
just kind of priceless and insane. And I'm just like, I get to like sort of be the caretaker of this for a few years,
Yeah,
it was really kind of an honor, um
that's
so
crazy
much,
cool.
yeah, so much cool stuff, man. It was so much cool stuff in there. And then we found, weirdly, we found usually a lot of times you're just like, oh, here's a fucking box that's been buried and what's in it, and one of these drawers one day we found a comic stuffed inside another comic, and it turned out to be um an Action Comics #1, missing the cover and the first, like, the first 2 pages and the last 2 pages. So it was the insides of an issue of Action Comics #1, right? Like,
Wow.
yeah, kind of bonkers, right? Like just been sitting inside something else for 50 years or something,
Right.
yeah, kind of crazy, man. It was fun. It was really fun. It was really, like I said, it was really like an honor to sort of be
Did,
the
did you
caretaker of
tell
it.
him like hey, I'll take this as my paycheck this week.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
thing
it
is
doesn't
like,
even have a cover.
yeah, but the thing is like, it's like that stuff doesn't even like, I don't know. It wasn't even about like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I never even really thought about it from like you don't think about things from like a monetary perspective when
Oh,
you're
I
in there,
wasn't
right?
thinking about that as a monetary
Oh,
thing.
just as like a cool thing to have.
I was thinking like to be able to say that I have an Action
Oh,
Comics
yeah,
number
yeah, yeah,
one.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Maybe my grandkids can do something
Yeah, yeah.
monetarily with it.
The funny thing too is like,
I think if I possibly could afford to give up a week's pay in exchange for an Action Comics number one, even without a cover,
yeah,
I would like
yeah,
not
let me
even
think
think
about it.
very hard.
Yeah, it's funny because like working in comics definitely made me like not really a collector. Like I have a lot of comics, so I guess I'm a collector in the sense that I've like accumulated a lot of them, but like I don't give a shit about condition. Like I just
I
want to
never
read
give
them,
a shit about condition,
Yeah,
or at
it's
least
so
I mean I give a
it
shit
can't be
about not
destroyed. I want it to be
destroying
readable. Right. Yeah.
mine. I mean, I
Right.
keep them bagged and boarded, but I don't
Right.
seal the bags and boards. I just kind of tuck them.
Yeah.
I don't not read them. I don't worry too much about, oh God, I'm eating dinner. I'm getting grease on my, I
Yeah. Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
don't try to spill ketchup on my comic, but you know what I
Right.
mean.
Yeah, totally. It's to me it was like this is a
Um,
thing to read and to like enjoy. And it was always like that when I was there. And whereas
but
before,
but there are certain things that I like. I have Saga in every available incarnation.
yeah.
I mean, I guess I haven't bought the digest yet, but like I haven't finished, but I'm well on my way to having Love and Rockets in
Wow, yeah,
every
yeah. Amazing.
available incarnation.
Yeah, yeah, wow. Holy shit. That's amazing. I have I
You
just
know,
have
it's
the
like I
same I
want
have
the
the same
singles and I want the
yeah.
trades and I want the
That's how I am with Akira. I have
yeah.
I have the
I
color
don't
I have
have
a
Akira yet, but they're putting out new hardcovers, and I am pretty
wait,
certain that I will be finally getting it because they look.
what are the new hardcovers? What's different about them than previous ones? Anything?
I think it's actually the set that was put out as a
In the
set of
box?
six, but
Yeah.
available as individuals.
Oh, okay. I have that box set already. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have the box set, then
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think there's anything new for you.
Yeah. So I've got that. I've got the black and white paperbacks. I've got the full Marvel run, the colorized Marvel run, full run of
Right.
that.
I have
And then the
some of
Marvel
those,
trades. Yeah.
and I've got some digital,
Yeah,
but I don't have.
the only two comics I've really spent any money on in the last like 20 years is I bought an Akira 38. That was the last issue of the Marvel run. I spent
Right.
$80 on that. Because it had an original Akira story in it, backup,
Right.
that wasn't ever
Right.
reprinted anywhere. And it
Right.
was the final issue of the series, so I had to get that. I
Right.
bought that for $80, and then I bought um, a GI Joe 21, which is the silent issue, for I think I paid 55 for that, which was my favorite comic as a kid. And then I realized like, well, part of the perks of being an adult with a job is like I can buy this comic again, so
Right.
I got a copy.
I am quite pleased, and I'm certain that there will eventually be exceptions to this rule. Um, in large part because of my friend Andy, who has happened to have given me a couple of my most expensive comics.
Yeah.
So my Saga number one came from him. My Love
Okay.
and Rockets number one second printing came from him.
Oh wow.
um,
Wow.
the most I've spent on a single issue is 32 on Saga number two.
Oh, okay.
Now, I have
I
more
have
than once spent as much as
yeah.
150 on a hardcover.
Hardcover, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
That, yeah, yeah. Right.
Um, because I particularly the like absolute editions and
Yeah,
whatnot,
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
oversized ones. Oh
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, I know.
I love it when the art's
Yeah,
big.
yeah, yeah. Yep, I know. Yeah,
um,
I have that Ronin artist edition. And Ronin was my favorite comic as a kid. Um, I know I just said GI Joe was my favorite comic as a kid. I just meant that single issue was my favorite single issue as a kid.
right.
Ronin was my favorite comic as a kid.
Did you read the Ronin too?
Nah, haven't read it yet. I'll get around
Okay.
to it.
Yeah, I read like the first
It
issue
looked
and I
cool.
didn't I have all of them and I just haven't managed to read them all.
Yeah, it
Um,
looked cool. I wasn't in a
it
super
does.
huge hurry. I'll check it out at
Yeah,
some point.
I'm
You know.
certain that I'll read it all. I mean, part of it was it just took so long for the next issue to come. The whole Miller line had some issues with like when
Timely
stuff
stuff.
came out, right?
Right, right.
Um, so it's like by the time the second issue came out, it's like I don't remember enough of the first issue, so I need to go
Yeah,
find the first issue in whichever box it's in.
yeah. That's why I just wait for trades at this point, which I know is
And
like
that's essentially what it became is like
right.
okay, I'll wind up having all of the issues but I'll read it in trade at some point.
Yeah, I'll buy single issues of my friends' comics, which is I mean that's kind of a lot of
Right.
stuff, but like I'll buy single issues of my friends' stuff. But
Yeah,
usually I'll just
me
buy
too.
trades otherwise. Yeah,
Me too. I mean,
yeah,
I buy a few more single issues than that just because we keep debating like scaling this part of the show back, but we still do kind of our favorites from last week, the things we're
yeah,
looking
yeah.
forward to next week. So
Right.
I feel a mild responsibility to be somewhat up to date on at least the stuff that I like the most and therefore might move
Yeah,
the needle in terms of, but I also like bend over backwards and say, hey guys, you can send me stuff. I'll
yeah,
never slam it. I do have that. I don't promise I'll plug it. I have to like it to plug it.
yeah.
But I promise you I'll never slam your book.
Well, I love the comics single issue
I
format.
mean,
I love.
except for True Cult. I mean that was just terrible. That
Oh
that
yeah, well,
oh, I'm
that
sorry. I'm
that goes
sorry,
beyond.
Scott.
Yeah, that goes without
I
saying.
thought I was talking to somebody else.
No, but like I love the single issue comics format, the serial format.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the ritual of going to the store and
Hmm.
buying the next installment of the story you're reading, and then you have to wait a month to read. Like I fucking love that. I love how the amount of fucking work it takes to make something that takes you 10 minutes to read. I just love it. I love everything about it. My
I
only issue
love
is
that
just
you're
I have
okay that it only takes because there's some people that are like, I can't stand that people are done with it in 10 minutes. And it's like, you know, if it's paced that way, it's paced that way. That doesn't
yeah
make it
yeah
bad.
yeah. No, I mean I'm a pretty dialogue-y motherfucker sometimes, so I think mine can sometimes take a little longer than that to read.
I
But
mean, what I'll say
um,
is like one of my favorite comics ever is Saga. And on average, it takes me 5 minutes to read Saga the first time.
yeah,
But
there's
you know what?
not a lot of yeah, exactly.
But you know what? The key word there is the first time.
Right. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yep.
second time actually takes me longer
Right.
because now that I know where we're going,
Yeah.
I don't have that desperate urge to keep going.
Right. Right. Right.
and
Yeah.
and often the second time comes immediately after the first time.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Whereas like the books that I can think of that took me like I want to say issue 4 of the master edition of um
From hell.
From Hell, I wound up spending more than 4 hours with.
Holy shit.
And that's why it took me like 3 weeks after issue 5 came out to finally pick it up. I mean, I
Yeah.
had it, but to finally
Right.
read it
Yeah.
because, like, after having spent an entire evening on issue
Right.
4,
Right.
it's like every time I looked at it, I'm like, do I have time for it? I don't know if I've
Yeah.
got time for it.
From hell is my all-time favorite comic.
It's way
And
up there for me.
I got to meet Eddie Campbell at San Diego 2 years ago, and he drew uh he drew one of the victims, and I got a book off of him, and he did it from hell, sketching it for me, which is fucking phenomenal.
I Eddie's in Chicago now,
Yeah.
so I see him 2 or 3 times a year,
Oh wow.
and he always seems to have some book on the table that I
Yeah.
haven't read
Yep.
before.
Yep.
So, I mean, the upside is I too have my share of little Eddie Campbell sketches, but the downside is he always manages to get $40 more of my money,
Yeah.
like every time.
We were trying to get him to do a. We were trying to get him to do a variant cover for Kill More,
Yeah.
and he was like, I don't want to learn. I don't have to learn how to draw other people's characters. And we were like, you don't have to draw any characters. Just draw a cityscape. Like, look at those From Hell characters. Those From Hell covers. They don't have any characters on them, you know. And he was like,
Right.
well, maybe. And then the book ended up getting, we ended up taking the book away from IDW, so it never happened. But that was the one I always wanted to have.
Well,
Wanted to have.
I mean, you're going to need a cover for the. I mean, now it's become a thing to have variant covers on trade paperbacks, the direct
Yeah,
market edition.
yeah. Oh, fuck, man. I know. I actually bought. I bought some those new Skybound GI Joe books. I was buying the trades, and I noticed that they had two different covers, and I was just like, "What the fuck? Like, which one?" I was like, "I don't know which one to like." So I just
Right.
like, "This is flip a coin," you know. Like, I wasn't gonna
Right.
buy them both, you know. So
No, every time I talk to Matt Rosenberg, I give him hell because he and Tyler are the kings of managing to have variant covers that I want.
yeah,
I am
yeah,
so not a variant cover guy.
yeah.
Like
Same.
with a handful of exceptions, it is
Right.
very easy for me to go this one.
Yeah.
And like most of the time it's just like give me the A cover. I don't even pay attention to the
Right.
variants. But
Right.
but
Same.
normally if if it's not going to be the A cover, it's like, no, I want that one.
Yeah.
And then the new issue of What's the Furthest Place from Here comes out, and it's like, fuck
Right.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I know.
I think I have 7 different covers for issue number 1. Thank
Jeez.
God, not all bought at the same time,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I would come across another one in like a half off bin, or
Right. 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 Yeah. You load them up. Yeah.
it's like that's awesome. I'm gonna buy it now. It's getting late, so I'm gonna ask my favorite and required closing question
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
know you're gonna have something good for me.
Cool.
Tell me something you love,
Hmm.
preferably a comic, but we don't have rules here.
Hmm.
Preferably storytelling, but again,
Hmm.
we don't have rules here.
Hmm.
That not enough people around you have experienced, and you need them to because you want more people to be able to talk to about it.
Comics, huh?
Again, preferably. I mean, somebody recently told me world travel and experiencing other cultures. So like I will take
Yeah.
whatever answer.
Yeah. I tell you, I mean, I get that. Yeah. I get that.
But
Yeah.
and for that matter, while it's a variation on tell me like the your underrated comic, it is a variation on that. Nate Powell gave me like current at the time Jonathan Hickman X-Men because
Uh-huh.
like he hadn't been a Wednesday Warrior forever, and he's
Yeah.
Nate Powell, so he runs in a very non Wednesday Warrior
Yeah.
crowd.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he'd started reading them and he loved them, and
Yeah.
nobody like he'd bring them up with the people that he knows at cons, and they're like, "You're reading X-Men?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's fucking good."
Man, I'll tell you, like I said, I'm moving, so like all my shit is fucking,
So what you're saying
packed.
is we made it harder on you because you can't just look at the bookshelf.
Yeah, but now I'm thinking like, something that's like really like influential on me is like, here, I'll show you like this fucking, so like, you ever read this book, Quivers?
Quivers?
Yeah.
I don't know Quivers.
It's not very good, but,
Okay.
but, but Bendis wrote it, drew it. I think he lettered it too. He did everything, I think. Um, yeah,
So
he did
this is
everything.
early Bendis.
This is like his first thing, I think.
Oh
Right.
wow.
And
I did not know that there was Bendis before um
the crime stuff.
yeah, Jinx.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
but even that Jinx and Goldfish and Torso and all that stuff, the stuff
I
that
don't think
like
this has ever been collected, has it?
I don't think so. I don't think he's very proud of it. I don't think he would want it to be collected, but it isn't very good. But it's like um super influential on me. Like it's super inspiring to me. And like the same with like these like this fucking low life. You ever read
Oh,
this?
Life I love.
So yeah,
I mean, I mean, don't get me wrong. Brubaker got way better, and Brubaker, like Bendis, is a better writer than
right,
artist. But
right.
I love Low Life. I have the
But
collection of Low Life
yeah,
and the
but it
single issues.
yeah, exactly. And then think of like Pax Romana, right? The Hickman book. Like
Yeah.
these books where the writer just by like force of will makes this thing come out, and they do the art themselves. And even though their art is not great, right? The book is carried by just the passion, and the excitement. And those to me are just they're super influential as a writer, just sort of looking at those and thinking about them and I don't know, maybe kind of a weird roundabout answer, but
No, I love that
yeah,
answer.
versus someone like Frank Miller who can write and draw, right?
Right.
Like you're talking about a
Well,
little bit
he
different.
was already drawing and then got the opportunity to write, whereas
Right, yeah,
whereas and I think this came up on one of our recent podcasts that like Bendis got the call from Quesada to come do Daredevil, and he's like, and like, just to be clear, Brian, just writing. We don't
yeah,
want you to draw.
right, right, right. But yeah, he said on was it on Daredevil? It may have been Daredevil or Ultimate Spider-Man. No, I think it was Ultimate Spider-Man. He was like drawing layouts for what's
No,
his
I
name.
think that was Sam and Twitch.
Oh, was that it? He was drawing the
Yeah.
layouts, and then they were
Yeah,
like, "We
he
don't
was
need you
doing
to."
layouts,
But he
and
said,
I
"We
think it
don't." The
was
artist's
actually
like, "We don't
Alex
need you to do
Maleev was
this."
like,
Yeah,
"Don't do that.
yeah. I don't need you to do this. Yeah, yeah,
This is what I do."
yeah.
Because I
That's
think
great.
I've heard him say he's so happy that Alex was willing to say that to him
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they've had such a career together
Freed
since
him up.
then,
Yeah, yeah.
and he's scared to death that he feels like there's a different world where Alex just stopped working with him rather than telling
Right.
him to
Yeah,
stop.
yeah. Totally, absolutely. Yeah. So I guess that would be my answer. However you want to sum that up.
No,
Um,
that's a great
you know,
answer. I love that answer, and now I want to try to manage to find Quivers
Quivers.
for less than the $400 that issue one is going for on eBay right now.
Wow, that's a little high. I didn't. I mean, I get. I paid a couple bucks each for them, so you can find me
Well,
around.
you must have either found them at the right store or bought them long enough ago.
Oh wow, they're expensive now. That's weird.
That the ones I'm seeing them at 350, 400. It looks
Then
like issue two you can get for 1897.
I should probably bag and board them then instead of just having them on this rack.
But yeah, near mint Quivers on eBay right now is, well, I mean, it is marked down from $1,001
Oh wow, that's quite a
to
deal. Yeah,
$400.39. It's
yeah.
60% off or best offer
Oh wow,
for
wow. There's
from at least one seller.
such a deal. Jesus Christ. It's not worth $400, man. It has a
No.
lot of
I mean,
sentimental value to me,
again,
and
the most I've ever paid for a comic was Saga #2 for
yeah,
$32. The
yeah,
second most I've ever paid for a comic, and
yeah,
it's hanging on the wall in my living room because it was a gift for my wife. So that's the other part. It was a gift for
yeah,
my wife,
right.
was $30 for Marvel Team Up, Spider-Man, and the not ready for prime time players,
Oh, yeah, 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 right. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
which
yeah,
has never been reprinted because they don't
yeah,
have the rights
right.
for.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, the Saturday Night Live. Yeah,
And
yeah,
still, I had to be
yeah,
talked to $30. It was a done deal at 20, and then the guy started to get cold feet and managed to talk me up to 30,
yeah.
and threw in a what for me is an extra copy, so it also got framed and put on the wall of Daredevil 191,
Okay.
the Roulette issue,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which
Cool.
is my favorite Miller issue.
Cool. That's awesome.
Uh, but yeah, no, I love that answer, particularly because you managed to tell me something. There are things by Bendis I haven't read, but only because become so fucking prolific.
Yeah, it's very prolific. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like I
yeah.
read everything he wrote until my kids were born.
Right, right. Yeah,
Well, apparently, except Quivers,
right.
which I didn't know existed.
You read this one?
So, like,
Have you read this one?
which one?
Lily?
Is that?
He
Oh,
didn't
no.
draw it. This is drawn by John and Jason Waltrip.
Okay, you just found another Bendis thing that I did not know about.
It's also not very good. But
Well, but here's my question. Are we talking truly not very good, or are we talking not good for Bendis, not
yeah, no,
good?
just not probably just not very good in general. Like, you know.
Okay. That one looks like it is available at the Waltrip website,
No, yeah, they
or
probably stopped comps.
at least many pages of it.
Oh, they're selling the art, original art. Mm.
No. I didn't. I meant to like read.
I see. I thought you meant to buy. Gotcha. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no, well,
yeah,
I guess it's just the first 5 pages.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
But you got to
the
start somewhere.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, no, but like I said, like you know, still talking
And I
about it.
mean, frankly, as good as Bendis was out of the gate, at least out of the gate as most of us saw him, um, he got better fast as he started working with better
Oh,
artists that
oh
brought their
yeah.
own stuff.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And while in his old age, I will say he's not as consistently knock it out of the park. Part of
Yeah.
that has to do, part of that is the Beatles problem. You know, when what you get compared to is yourself, it's
Yeah.
really hard
Right.
to measure up all
Right.
the
Right. Right.
time.
Right. Also, he has like nothing to prove to anybody at this
Right.
point. So
Right. So
yeah.
so A, he can both do things for paychecks and do things because he's messing around and wants to see what happens.
Right.
But that's also why, like, Pearl was one of the best things he's ever done. He
Yeah.
did this
Yeah.
thing that
Pearl was
was
great.
just,
Yeah.
because he was able to mess around. It's like,
Yeah.
let's try this, and
Hmm.
boom.
Yeah.
So I all but guarantee that we still haven't seen the last great Bendis work just
Oh yeah.
because he's
Yeah.
he's one of those.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, but it's got to be tough in any medium to be like. I read an interview with Paul McCartney once where they're asking him, to rate his new album. He's like, "Oh, I think it's the best thing I've ever done." And they're
Mhm.
like, "Really? You were in the Beatles?" He's like, "If I didn't think whatever I recorded right now is the best thing I ever did, I would have quit a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
may
Absolutely.
not think this 6 months from now. I may not think this 6 weeks from now.
Right.
But if I can't keep that mindset,
Right.
I
Yeah.
might as well quit.
Yeah. No, I think that's the thing with like, I think, that's the thing with like with everything I do. I'm like, I gotta top what I did last time. I gotta do better. I
Right,
gotta do better. What can I do to be better
right,
this time? And even if it's
right,
like a series of multiple issues, how does each issue get better, right? How can the
right,
first issue's got to be amazing, and then you got to the second, they got to keep getting better, so
right.
um yeah, it's you can't just go, oh yeah, left hand path, that was the best thing I ever did, but this new thing is pretty good too. Like, no, it's got to be no,
Well,
so
and
yeah, I
that
get it.
actually that remind and this is since we were on Bendis anyway, he has one of my favorite quotes ever. He's said it a few times to John Suntress and I think a couple other places. There's one question that he just refuses to answer. He will not tell you what his least favorite work of his is
Yeah,
because he's like, doesn't matter what it is, it's somebody's favorite work of mine.
sure, yeah, exactly.
And I don't want to tell them that,
Yeah,
oh, that sucked.
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Somebody loves that book of mine. I don't want to tell them that, oh,
No, absolutely, I get that.
that was
Yeah,
crappy.
yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So Scott, it's always a blast.
Hey
Thanks.
man, thank you for
You
having me
reached out
on.
to me this time, so thanks for reaching out.
Yeah, of
And
course.
I'll try to remember. You're definitely one of the names that like generally the way I schedule is like I get a stack of people at every con that I slowly try to get a hold of, but
Yeah,
those fall behind because what I'm best at is either I just saw that you solicited a book or I just read your new book and I immediately wrote you an email.
yeah, for sure. Well,
So, like, you're definitely one of the names that I watch for and solicits. I can't
thanks,
wait to
man.
see what comes next, and I'll bring you back. And
For
hope
sure.
your
Thanks
move
for having me.
goes. Are you moving far or
I'm just moving
moving?
one town over.
Okay, so
Yeah.
not too bad.
So true pain in the ass, you
Yeah,
know?
pain in the ass, but
Yeah,
not
right.
not cross country.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
More buy pizzas and get all the friends to come carry boxes for an afternoon. Then
Yeah, exactly.
bye everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll see you at Christmas. Are you gonna be out at Phillipsburg again this year?
Man, that's the day I'm moving. So
Oh, okay.
no, I know. I was
Yeah.
supposed to be there, and then I realized it was the day I was moving, so I had to bail. But hopefully
Okay.
next year. Hopefully next year I'll
I
get
don't
out
know
there
if I'm
again.
gonna manage to get there this year anyway, but
Mm.
like it's on my list just because I love that there's
It's a fun little show. Yeah.
such a rocking show put on by
Yeah.
a high school.
Yeah. It's a fun little show. And I think they're
Yeah.
having a DMC, I think, is performing after the show this year too. So it's kind of amazing, right? So yeah.
Yeah, I might have to look at it even harder because
Yeah.
apparently it's like less than half an hour from Andy's house. So I
Okay.
even have a place to stay. I just have to get
Yeah.
out there.
So get out there. Yeah.
So, uh, all the best, Scott. Always
Thanks,
fun to
buddy.
talk.
For sure.
We will see everybody after the next page.
Hey guys, this is Tyler from 22 Panels. I'm here to tell you all about our Patreon. If you enjoy this show, please consider donating to our Patreon to keep this show going. We have many different tiers, all different levels to help you decide what's right for you. Okay, so get on out there to patreon.com/22 Panels Podcast.